who won in court but lost in the court of public opinion. That case in Mexico where a rapist was acquitted of rape because he didn't enjoy it. I guess the rapist's dad being a top cartel honcho had nothing to do with it then. Ken McElroy, the Skidmore, Missouri town bully. His rap sheet included assault, statutory rape, child molestation, arson, animal cruelty, hog and cattle rustling, and burglary. Never convicted. One day he was shot and killed in broad daylight on a busy street. Nobody saw who did it. Cough cough. Jennifer Connell was called the worst aunt ever and the aunt from hell for suing her nephew. Her nephew basically jumped into her arms and the extra physical affection broke her arm. Became a really big deal when it happened. Thing is, she needed to name a person at fault for her injury for her insurance and named her nephew with his parents' permission. She wasn't actually suing her nephew, just getting insurance money so she could be treated. Richard Jewell, the man falsely accused of the Centennial Olympic Park bombings in Atlanta in 1996. He was a security guard and saved dozens of lives by spotting the bomb and clearing spectators. The FBI noted him as a person of interest, and his name was dragged through the mud by local and national media. While the FBI stopped investigating Jewell by October of that year. It wasn't until a couple of years later that his name was truly cleared when Eric Rudolph, the actual bomber, was caught. Jewell sued a number of media outlets and settled with a few of them for an undisclosed amount. The dingo took my baby woman, which turned out to be true as well. Jesse Ventura sued Chris Kyle for defamation, but after Chris' death the lawsuit continued and people smeared Jesse for suing a dead man's wife. Jesse eventually got a settlement. O.J. Simpson. The City of New London in Kello versus City of New London. The city was using the eminent domain to remove a nice lady from her home to build shopping complex. Made its way to the Supreme Court and a 5v4 decision won and Kello lost her home to provide economic opportunities. High-profile case where the public sided with Kello but the courts sided with the city. Casey Anthony. Bill Cosby. I literally forget sometimes that his conviction was overturned and vacated. Mason Greenwood. 19-year-old raped his girlfriend and audio of it was leaked. After 18 months, the case was dropped and he was shipped off to play for a Spanish club. O.J. Casey Anthony. Debatably Karla Homolka too, 'cause she got a ridiculously light sentence. Monica Lewinsky. She won in court because she wasn't the person on trial. The power dynamics also weren't in her favor. He was her boss. But yet, we still call it the Monica Lewinsky scandal and her name is still brought up in derogatory ways. After all these years. The woman who won a damages settlement from McDonald's for being burned by overly hot coffee. It was dangerously hot and they'd been warned before and paid medical bills by court order over other burns. But because she got a high payout over something as seemingly trivial as coffee, she's labeled litigious and dramatic. The burns were awful. And by the way, McDonald's still has coffee that's dangerously hot. They were in the news a week or two ago for another burn case. Brock the rapist Turner arguably won given his sentencing. Ethan Couch. The Affluenza Kid. Edit: I was wrong. Brock the rapist Turner now goes by Alan the rapist Turner. Sorry for the confusion. John DeLorean. He was set up by the FBI and his case is the reason for the term entrapment. He was acquitted of all charges. DeLorean needed $17 million to save his company from collapse. To this end, he spent much of 1982 desperately seeking investors for his failing company. He was approached by one such investor named James Hoffman on June 28, 1982, who claimed to have a business opportunity to help save DeLorean's company. Unknown to DeLorean, James Hoffman was actually a convicted drug smuggler, who, in exchange for leniency, struck a deal with federal authorities to become an informant. Duke lacrosse players. Kevin Spacey. Dan White getting 5 years for killing Harvey Milk and the mayor of San Francisco. It's mixed for sure, but Michael Jackson went to court twice and was found not guilty, but he'll always be the butt of child molester or pedophile jokes. I'm here to predict Lizzo wins in courts, but her image will never be the same, if she can win back the public opinion at all. Stella Liebeck from the McDonald's coffee case. She won her case, but she became the face of frivolous lawsuits after McDonald's campaigned to discredit her. McDonald's policy was to serve coffee so hot that it could cause third-degree burns within seconds of contact with skin, simply to discourage customers from getting refills. Fatty Arbuckle. David Goodwill raped a woman, not pursued due to insufficient evidence. Civil case convicted him, but couldn't put him on a sex register. Ordered to pay victim. Then declared bankruptcy. Can't get a game anywhere in the world. He tried to go to Australia and got hounded out. The first acquittal of the cops who beat Rodney King. That was some preposterous bullshit. Lizzie Borden. The cops in her case were literally chastised for how terribly they did in the search. Her own statements were contradictory, and she was caught burning a dress because there was paint on it, and it was ruined. She was acquitted, but most people still think she did it. There's even a nursery rhyme about her murdering her stepmother and dad. O.J. Simpson. In 1995, Simpson was acquitted of the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. However, many people believed that Simpson was guilty, and he was widely ostracized after the trial. Lizzie Borden. Jian Ghomeshi, Canadian radio host personality. That one McDonald's lady who sued because of how hot her coffee was. She was absolutely in the right because the coffee gave her third-degree burns. But McDonald's managed to twist the story so most people thought she was insane. Somehow both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. The lady who got burned by the McDonald's coffee because of their campaign to make her seem like an incompetent fool. The variations I've heard of that story are astounding, including her pouring the coffee onto a baby. For some reason. The State of Tennessee v. John Thomas Scopes, aka the Scopes Monkey Trial. John Scopes was found guilty of teaching evolution and fined $100, about $1,700 in today's money. The state won the court case, but ended up looking like assholes until now. I think now the same thing could happen again. The guy who killed Emmett Till. Convicted rapist Brock Turner got a slap on the wrist. Reverse of the question asked. Cyntoia Brown was sex trafficked and was jailed for murdering her rapist, tried as an adult at 16, and received a life sentence. It got reduced to 15 years. And she was freed in 2019. The justice system absolutely failed her. Meg Thee Stallion. I can't believe people still think she is in the wrong after all this time. I do believe we are talking about Alan Turner. The rapist. The one who raped an unconscious girl behind a dumpster when he still went by the name Brock Turner. I think that is the rapist we are talking about. Brock Alan Turner. Net neutrality. John Benet Ramsey's parents sure. They never were charged. But everyone was 100% sure they killed her. Media really went after them. DNA proved they didn't kill her. Her poor mom died with the world thinking she killed her daughter. There's still a stigma to that family. Especially the son.